Hey everyone, and welcome to the Infinite Respawn podcast. I'm Chicken.
I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Griff.
Nah, I'm Bucket.
What's up, guys?
up?
I started smirking because Griff was smiling, and I wasn't sure why. So,
Because I was trying to be
Wow. Wow.
I
You trying to say she
guess.
can't smile, bro?
Okay.
Is that what you're trying to say?
yeah, don't smile, Griff.
It's
Too
so
distracting.
abnormal for her.
It's too distracting.
Fair. I
She's
just-
got to. It's just this.
Yeah.
The rest of the show. This is
We
it right here.
live in a world with masks now. We can just all put on masks.
well, I mean,
we
we're
I'm
used-
kidding.
at our
Don't
own
do
home.
that. Don't do
You
that.
know, we don't really have to, but I know we said this is going to be every other week, and then last week there wasn't a show, but it's because this week was the Game Awards, and we didn't want to not do that week, so,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah. So you're gonna get us twice in a row. We're gonna do this
Yeah.
week, and next week will be our last show of the year. So.
Yeah, and then you'll be sad because
Yeah.
for 2 weeks in a row we won't be here, but don't be too sad because those were holidays, so, you know. You got
Exactly.
you got things to do, probably.
Christmas is on a Sunday, and New Year's is on a Sunday.
Yeah, so.
And then I'm in Orlando 2 weeks in a row, basically.
Yeah, well, we'll be back. So, don't worry. Somebody will be here. We'll leave the light
We'll be
on
here
for
to
you.
help entertain you.
Yeah.
Well,
As long as
I'll
it
be here
doesn't
for.
break.
I'll be here for that first show, I think, because that'd be, what, the 7th,
I
right?
don't know. I don't have a
7th or
calendar
8th.
in front
I'll be here
of
for
me.
that.
Let me pull up a calendar real quick.
Right, yeah.
The 8th.
Yeah, I'll be here for that. I don't leave until the next day, so.
So then you'll be here for the first show back then.
Yeah. and then I'll be here for. I land the day before the next show, so we're good. We're good.
Do we want to briefly discuss anything fun that we've been playing or anything like that before we get into lawsuits and awards and stuff?
We started playing Overwatch again.
Yeah, we tried out Overwatch 2.
That's right. It's Overwatch 2.
Yeah, it's Overwatch 2, which, as somebody said in I saw like a post today that somebody said something like they only released Overwatch 2 as a sequel because they were trying to reignite interest in the game, which I don't disagree with that, to be honest. All they did was took away one of your teammates because it's 5 instead of 6, and changed the meta, so it's 1 tank, 2 DPS, 2 heals, instead of 2 tanks, 2 DPS, 2 heals. They have all of the same maps and heroes from the first game. They've just kind of reworked some of them a little bit, and then added a couple of new heroes. So it's
I think the main reason that they redid, like they
launched it.
relaunched the game was the battle pass.
Mm-hmm.
Like you couldn't,
Changing
like
it to a free to play.
Yeah, they redesigned the reward system from the ground up. They got rid of loot boxes in its entirety, and then introduced the battle pass. Like,
Which,
because
let me tell
everything
you,
else
the battle
feels
pass
just
is
the same.
So lackluster. Like, they're like, buy the battle pass, and if you buy the battle pass, you get something at every level, which is, makes sense. And if you are doing the free one, it's every like 3 levels. You get
Every
something.
3 to 5 levels or some shit like that. I don't know.
But even the stuff that you pay for it in the battle pass to unlock is kind of like, oh, okay. I mean,
I feel like that's the way it is with a lot of battle passes. I like the way that Sea of Thieves does theirs, though, where it's the free one, you still get something every level.
yes,
It's
they do
just
theirs
you get
perfectly.
something extra every 5th
Yeah.
level or something like that. If you're playing their battle pass, and you get enough, if you get to 100, you get enough coin
buy the
to
next
pay
one.
to actually buy the battle pass. So once you bought it once, you got enough to do it. So
seems like in Overwatch 2, like in the first one you got, sorry, everything froze on my end for a second. I want to make sure it was gonna be okay. In the first one you got like the loot boxes, which whatever, most of the time I didn't care about the loot boxes so much as the coins that you got from them, so that you could buy the skins that you wanted instead of trying to chance roll the skins. But it doesn't seem like they haven't added many other skins. I guess everything has to be purchased through a battle pass, because there's not a bunch of new skins, and the ones that are new you can't buy with coins. So I don't know. It feels
mean you can't
really...
buy with
do they
coins?
have a buck system like Fortnite and other games like that will have even Sea of Thieves, they have a system to where you use real money to go in, purchase their version of money, and then use that money to be able to buy the skin.
I think they have something like that, but they ship them as bundles now. So it's like, oh, there's the Ramatra bundle. That's the new tank that they just introduced. And it's him and some skins for him and like sprays and stuff. But I didn't see anywhere else there was like a, extra sets or anything like that. Maybe I just haven't looked deep enough into the store yet to find it. I didn't spend a whole lot of time digging through the store. I was kind of like, oh, look, Battle Pass, and don't care. I'm just going to, play the game. Luckily, they brought everything that you had in the first Overwatch over to the second. So if you had skins unlocked already and things like that, that all came with it. So at least you got to keep the old stuff. But
I would be pretty pissed if I lost like all my skins and everything. They're like, oh yeah, no, just play our game and unlock it all again.
No, you didn't lose it all. You got to keep it all.
Well, that's what he's saying. He would have been upset if they had done that. But yeah.
I think most people would have been upset with that.
We just, wanted something that would fill our 5-player needs, and it's free, so why not? I guess.
I don't get it. Okay, because there's 2 types of credits, and I can't figure out what the other credit is.
Oh, you're looking at the thing? I was wondering what you were looking at so intently.
Because they give you, I don't know, I've got like 20,000 Overwatch credits or whatever the fuck it is to buy skins, but the coins are different. And as far as I could think of, there's no way to earn the credits.
I guess not. I guess that is the...
Yeah, there's
credits versus coins.
Yeah, if it's the way that, like, well, I'll use Apex for an example. Apex has it to where you can, through the battle pass, earn certain stuff as you go. And then if you wanted to outright buy something that's not available on the battle pass, because every day they'll change a skin, or every week they'll change a skin, and be able to buy something, you buy their coinage, whatever that is. And it'll be one off, right? It'll be like 500 for whatever you need, but it'll be like 495 is the minimum you can purchase. So you have to go to the next one to be able to
I hate that.
to get it, which I hate that. It's predatory, but whatever.
I guess less predatory than loot boxes.
I guess at least you know what you're getting when you're buying, but
they're called legacy credits, and you're never going to be able to get any more. What you have is what is available to you to spend on skins, and that is it.
Is that the 20,000 you have?
That's the 20,000 that I have.
Okay, so it's basically you bought Overwatch, so they gave you 20,000 credits.
It's like all the credits that you had from the original Overwatch, they brought it over and let you keep them, but that is all you're ever going to get. That is not the currency of Overwatch 2. But since you've already had them, they're not taking them away. You could still use them on skins, but that's it. Like, so once you buy your skins, that's it.
What's the currency and how do we get it?
You buy it.
Oh, you just...
Or you do the weeklies, the daily challenges and things like that. You do the battle pass, and the challenges are how you get the premium currency. So play the game every day.
Every day.
And buy our battle pass.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because then you'll earn it faster.
Mm-hmm.
By spending money. Yay.
Whatever. I mean, it doesn't, like, give you a leg up, I guess, as far as power goes, but it's still pretty shitty, really. It feels incredibly unrewarding. It's like, oh, do you want to play this game with this cute skin? You've got to play for 75,000 hours. Good luck. Oh, okay. Well,
or you just save up the coins and buy it.
Overwatch is your life now.
Sucks for them though, because we're just super casual about it. We just had a lot to say about it because we just started playing it.
I mean, I'm pretty set on most things, and I've got like 20,000 legacy credits, so I can buy like a skin for every hero that comes out for like the next 12 years. So I'm good. I mean, I'm not really investing too much into this anymore.
No, not really.
Just here to shoot people. In game, of course.
And you're dead, and you're dead, and you're dead.
In game, of course.
In game,
well,
of course.
Any other fun things?
I haven't played a whole lot. I've had other stuff going on. I had to do some stuff outside of my house and like put in a fire pit and a bunch of other stuff for my Christmas party. That was my annual Christmas party. It was last night. Which is why I seem draggy and tired right now, because I got up at like 6:30 yesterday morning and worked throughout the entire day. I think I had 2 drinks, so it's not even alcohol that was the issue. Maybe if I'd had more alcohol, it would have been fine. I've just, if I've picked anything up, it was just basically just playing a little bit of stuff on the PlayStation that's in the bedroom and chilling, and that was about it. My child though spent almost all day yesterday. Dreamlight Valley now has a new update, and I think they introduced Stitch, if I'm not wrong, on that one.
Dreamlight Valley is the Disney version of Stardew Valley, essentially.
More like Animal Crossing.
Yeah, Animal Crossing. There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, so I sat and watched her for a little bit while I was making food. My stew that takes forever to make. So that's about it. I haven't done much other than that.
Then do we want to talk about all of the news stuff? Finally, we can
sure.
say that all of the news stuff and mean one thing.
I mean, like 3 of them are well, actually. Yeah, we have like 6 articles. 3 are of one subject and 3 are another.
Hey, it's still stuff.
two huge subjects, and that's all good.
They are.
Okay, well, where do you want to start?
I would say we do the Microsoft, the Microsoft one first, then just finish out the show with the other one.
Yep, I agree with that.
As we have been following pretty closely since it was announced, it was earlier this year, right? Like earlier on this year. The FTC has finally begun their lawsuit against the Microsoft acquisition of Activision, which I'm still, like, even with this, I am still, like, very, very confident that it's going to go through. Worst case scenario, they've got to give up a couple of things, but it's going to be minor, and I doubt Microsoft's going to fight it too hard. And even if they do go to court, I still feel very confident that Microsoft's still going to win this thing. Like, it's...
I am too. I think the fact that they're coming out and they're like, okay, I don't know how many times we need to say this. We're not taking Call of Duty off of PlayStation. We're not doing it. That would be dumb for us. We're even trying to figure out how to put it on Nintendo, and we're willing to sign 10-year deal with Nintendo to be able to guarantee Call of Duty is going to be on there. And when was the last time Call of Duty was on any Nintendo? Wii U, right? When was the last time it was on?
Yeah, I think so.
Had one version that was on it.
I love Microsoft's rebuttal Sony's rebuttal to that, because they came out and was like, as if the Switch could run anything like Call of Duty. Like, they actually was like, as if the Switch could run that. It's like, first of all, Microsoft said a Nintendo console. They did not say specifically the Switch, which means they may already have the next generation of Nintendo in their hands working with it.
And secondly, on top of that, the Switch is already running off the cloud for certain large games that it normally would not be able to run.
Exactly.
So it is a total possibility that it could be running that. And also, okay, Sony, you gonna throw some shade, bro? At Nintendo?
They're gonna try, man.
Nintendo. You don't attack Nintendo.
That was like 2 steps away from being, oh yeah, your mom.
It really is.
Oh
God.
Sony, I get it. You have a business to protect and everything, but you guys are being really, really, like, petty and weird and clingy about this, especially, like, clinging on to this one franchise as a make or break. If it's that big of a deal, how about you dust off Resistance or Killzone or even retry Mag or something like that and see if you can generate your own interest with a first-person shooter.
Right. It's because of all of the special treatment that they've been given over the years for Call of Duty. That's really it, and I don't know how many times we have to hammer this home. They want the royalties of it. Like, you get these skins, and you get this DLC for a few weeks earlier, and you get all of this stuff. PlayStation is where you go to buy Call of Duty, and Microsoft's like, no, you buy Call of Duty everywhere and play it anywhere and do everything. We don't care. We're just going to make it even across the board, and Sony does not want that.
I think the thing that is interesting to me is this whole time that all this discussion has been going on before the FTC stuff happened and everything, Sony's been going at them in every country in the world and everything else, and Phil hasn't said a damn thing, really. He's just said, they've got their opinion. We're not taking it off of there. He's been very nice about it. And then he's recently on a podcast and basically is just like, look, Sony is trying to protect its dominance on console, and the only way they can do that is to make us smaller. And that's basically what they're doing. They're trying to make Xbox smaller because it guarantees them to be more dominant. And I love it because he's like, they have a different view of the industry than we do. They don't ship their games day and date on PC. They do not put their games in their subscription service when they launch their games. Like, we look at the gaming world differently than they do. And that's what people need to understand. And we've said it for 5 years now, 6 years now, exactly the same thing. Microsoft wants you to play Microsoft games on whatever you can play a Microsoft game on, period.
Which there was an article recently too that they even recognize that they've been failing behind on their first party stuff, which they're going to be moving forward with more first party titles and creating more of them. And on that sense, they are going to be upping the price of their games, their first party games and exclusives to $70 too, which is fine. Sony's already way ahead of that. And that's just a thing that is happening everywhere now.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's since the mid 2000s or whatever, it's always been a threat.
Yeah.
That it was going to happen. You're going to get 70, and then
here we are, almost.
And then it happened, and people
later.
freaked. It's like, come on, man. We're on PlayStation 5 now.
Yeah,
But-
that's not surprising at all. It's fine. $70 for a game. That's just how everything was moving towards anyway.
Yep. But they do have FTC, of course, going at them, is going after Microsoft. California, of course, we know because of the other problems that Activision has been going after them. But now Activision's going after California because basically they've not been transparent. They haven't really said anything about what investigation's going on or anything like that. So they're suing to have a judge force the CRD, which is the people that are going after Activision, that's part of California,
The Civil Rights Department.
To produce the various internal documents that so they know, basically they know exactly what is being researched about them and all that, because you got to be able to defend yourself. And so if one side doesn't give the other side all the information, then that's withholding information, and you're not supposed to do that. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out as well as it gets closer to the deadline for the acquisition.
Oh man, it's going to be very interesting to watch Microsoft take over this lawsuit, because the lawsuit isn't going to just magically disappear against Activision Blizzard. It's going to be sitting there, and when Microsoft comes in with their goddamn enormous armies of lawyers, they will more than likely settle it out, try to clean it up as much as possible, and just try to move on from this. Be like, all right, we're going to settle this shit out. We're getting rid of you, and we're going to redesign. We're going to set everything up. Like, Phil Spencer's going to be on like janitor duty for a couple of years.
Well, and they're making an informed decision. You know what I mean? Like when they decided to buy Activision Blizzard, they did it informed that this was already an issue.
Oh yeah.
And that's why they went after it in the first place. Now, so they've had almost an entire year of just working on trying to how to fight this situation, or not necessarily fight, resolve is a better term. Resolve the situation. So I feel like you're right. It's going to be a settled out. And I think they're going to do it the right way. Because they need because they have to have good faith to everybody that either owns an Xbox or a PC or has ever played one of the games from, the company. So
that would be a good way to start off Microsoft's acquisition, is to get all of this stuff settled out so that the dust can start setting and we can move on from this.
Definitely.
Because Diablo 4 is going to be released almost like the same week that Microsoft's deal will close.
Is it the same day, or am I just mistaken on that? Because I thought June 6th is the same day that they originally had said.
If they get to close the deal, so we'll have to see.
Because because what I'm thinking is what they're going to do is put it on PC Game Pass.
Okay, June 30th
June 30th is
June
the
30th is when it will close.
okay. But I thought that was hilarious because I saw that June 6th and I was like, wait, are they like trying to pull this whole thing that they're just gonna throw that on?
No,
the PC
what's
Game
his
Pass?
face? Bobby Kotick wants his last big fat check from Diablo 4 release.
He's done as
Before-
of January or February. His contract's up.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess they could just float by with no CEO or just a CEO in training or whatever until. June.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't know if as long as the FTC stuff's happening, they might have to keep him on because you don't know if it's going to happen or not. So you're going to keep somebody in charge.
Definitely not him.
Yeah, I would say probably not him. You probably want somebody else at the helm after all of the
No,
problems you've had with him and the bad PR and everything.
yeah,
Then
that
again,
bad
it's a
PR
big
ain't gonna go
corporation
away.
and they really don't give a shit about it, things like that a lot of times. So,
No.
which I mean, this is exactly what this is. It's big corporation wants to buy other big corporation. People are unhappy. Like,
I think that, and I agree with that. Like if this was Microsoft purchasing this, which I know it's Big Daddy's money. Don't get me wrong, but if it was like, you know, it was somebody that wasn't Phil Spencer who's in charge of the gaming, and we've seen what he can do. I think that's where you run into the issue because he works for a corporation, but he doesn't feel corporate.
yeah, but not
and
feeling corporate may also like this. This is just
I know
devil's
we're
advocate.
getting
Not
we're getting
feeling
to the
corporate is probably the whole idea. Oh look,
Right.
let's put somebody up front. Like Nintendo had Reggie for a while, where you feel like you can trust this person and they can't do anything wrong, so they can assuage all of the fears, so that you don't feel like corporate is bad. But I mean, they're really just doing what
I think
corporate
it's like a
does,
casual.
so-
I think it's like a casual corporate style because Reggie always felt to me like he will listen to what the big bosses say, but he was always willing to be like, "Hey, wait, that's not gonna work. I'm gonna explain to you the proper way to do this." Okay, like I get that you guys see the bigger picture, but if you don't take care of these smaller parts of it, the entire thing is gonna collapse. And Reggie seems like the kind of guy that's going to be very forward in meetings and whatnot. Everybody loves him because he's so personable and he's down to earth. Same thing with Phil. Phil's like the Reggie of Microsoft. Sony has not found their personable PR guy.
No,
No.
to my knowledge, they've never had one.
They
Yeah, like,
probably
they're-
won't either. Sony runs their company as it's a business because it is a business. They don't feel the need to put somebody in the front to be the personable go-between to their fans because they're basically like, we're the business, we give you what we say we're going to give you. Whereas Microsoft's like, well, here's Phil Spencer, he can be your good guy pal and tell you all of the cool things.
If I had to guess, Microsoft saw how well Reggie did and was like, we need one of him. We need somebody like that that's going that our community can actually get behind and believe in.
And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with like a Phil Spencer or Reggie or, you know, anything like that.
Totally
I'm
are.
just-
That's entirely what I got out of the entire thing.
I'm just saying you have to understand that these are all still businesses. They are not your friends. Just because Phil Spencer is a friendly dude does not mean that Microsoft is being altruistic with everything that they do. I mean, they did say at one point if they bought Bethesda, they wouldn't console exclusive or they wouldn't exclusive format any of the stuff that they had coming up, but it sounds like they're going to. So with Starfall, whatever the Bethesda sci-fi thing is, sounds like that's going to be exclusive to Microsoft and then probably PC because they'll put it on
Starfield.
their Game Pass thing.
Yep, Xbox Series and Microsoft Windows.
Yeah, so it won't be on Sony. They said it would before they bought it, and then they changed their mind. So I mean,
No.
it
What they said specifically is that they were not going to remove any games from Sony, but anything that was being worked on in the future was still up for decisions.
I
They
thought
said
that
that
I remember that photo.
specifically. They were very specific about anything in the future we'll have to discuss when we
Yeah,
get there.
they're very good at wording things.
Yeah,
Like,
you gotta watch those words.
Yeah.
well, and I don't know that I wouldn't turn around with like if having a conversation with Sony and be like, hey, do you still want this on your PlayStation 5? If Sony wouldn't like, no, we're not going to do that, and just so they could prove later on that, you know, Just to be like, Microsoft bought Bethesda and then they didn't give us Starfield and we expected to have Starfield. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, like I could definitely see Sony being petty like that, and like, it's like, don't be petty, Sony. Like they're just trying to give everybody the opportunity to play their games wherever. Don't be an ass.
Well, Sony doesn't want to have to pay Microsoft for anything, and I don't know. I kind of wonder
so
how
funny because their cloud gaming system is Microsoft's cloud gaming system. It's literally their servers. So it's like you're already paying them for that.
Somebody's gonna hack that shit if they don't get a certain game. they're gonna figure a way to hack that to get it on the PlayStation anyway.
Yeah.
Well,
Figure the whole thing out.
we'll see what happens. There's a lot of yelling on Sony's side of things, and Microsoft is buying a huge company. I mean, I get why Sony's upset, but I wouldn't be as petty about it if I was them. I would be like, all right, look, let's work something out to make this deal work for us too, okay?
Yeah, pretty much. That's what they should start doing, is try to work with them instead of working against them, because it's going to be a lot worse in the long run. You're not generating any good faith here at all.
Well, Sony just seems like a bunch of whiners right now anyway. And I want it to be clear. I own several PlayStations and love Sony. Like when it comes to their product.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not
It's great.
Not like
I'm not
Xbox
bashing
exclusive.
Sony. I'm just
They
bashing
make
some of their
the best
practices.
games, period.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes,
I mean,
hands down.
oh yeah, for
Like
sure.
Chicken and I just finished The Last of Us and then bought The Last of Us 2. We'll play it at some point. I know Ollie, you're gonna be all over me about it. We will play it at some point, I promise.
Oh yes, for sure.
We
Just
have,
finished Last of Us.
We have it, you know. But yeah, like they make really good games for their platforms. It's just they really want to yell super loud about stuff that's honestly not theirs. Like Call of Duty was never yours. There was always a possibility that even Activision Blizzard would have changed their minds and made an exclusive deal with Microsoft if the money had been right for it. You know, like it's not your game. Maybe you should work on something that will actually bring players to your platform that is yours, if that's that big of a deal to you.
Sony and Nintendo are so similar, but Sony is just so much louder about their whining. And Nintendo is like, they do the exact same thing Sony does. Exclusive first-party titles they don't put anywhere, but Sony puts their stuff on PC. Nintendo does not. All of their stuff is on the Nintendo consoles.
But that's also very, very, very recent with Sony. And they're like, oh, this game's 2 years old. We can go ahead and put it out on PC now.
Yeah.
You know, where
but Nintendo doesn't do that ever. Like the only way you're gonna get Nintendo games on the PC is if you emulate them.
But I would argue too is Nintendo is one of those companies that a lot of us will still purchase a Nintendo Switch or Nintendo whatever the next Switch is because of those exclusives, and they know that's why we're purchasing their product. And if they put their stuff on PC, and some of that's not going to translate well because it's built for whatever system it's on. And I just think that if they started putting their stuff on PC, they're looking at losing some revenue somewhere. Is their mentality. It might be the wrong mentality, but it is one of those where they look at it that way because that's what, you know, we all purchase their stuff because Xbox and Sony people usually don't care about Nintendo when it comes to the console war, right? All it is if you have Xbox, you probably have a Switch. If you have a PlayStation, you probably have a Switch. You know, you might not have an Xbox and a PlayStation, but you'll probably have a Switch because you're gonna buy Nintendo.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like Nintendo is the one that everybody always goes to, and you don't see anybody bitching about like, why can't we get Mario over here? Why can't we do this with them? I mean, nobody's begging for Nintendo games. I mean, everybody wants to go to Nintendo, but they're not begging for Nintendo to come to them.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
It's like Nintendo is the hardware company with good games, and Microsoft is the software company with a good console.
Yep. Exactly.
and they know to stay in their lanes, and they're like, cool, we can all drive on this road and all make a ton of money and all be happy. And then Sony's the crazy 5 o'clock driver that's just ramming into the side rail and hitting and yelling at them for not moving fast enough.
Which is a hardware company as well. I mean, they
Yeah.
make televisions, they make all types of stuff in electronics. So they're a hardware company too. But they've got, Nintendo is. You're not going to go out and buy a Nintendo Blu-ray player or a Nintendo TV, right?
Nintendo TV. Can I get it?
They are literally in the gaming industry, but Sony is got their hands in a lot of stuff, and they're innovators. Blu-ray was created by Sony. There's just a lot of stuff out there that Sony builds, and they got their hands in a lot of stuff. Microsoft, of course, they build really, really good software that different styles of work use, and they sell that product to them. So they've got their hands in a lot of stuff too, but that's from the software side. Obviously, since Sony's using their servers right now to run their cloud service, but I just think it's the whole battle thing has always amazed me. Anyway, that people complain about this shit. Never understood it. I played on everything for the entire time I've been a gamer, so I've never understood it, but it is what it is. Do we want to move on to the Game Awards?
Yes, let's do that.
Game Awards.
There was a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there is a lot of stuff. We want to do announcements first, or the winners and all that stuff?
I'd say we could just do the awards first, because that's like less discussion part, and the other one's like, what did they announce? Are we excited for it? And things like that. It leads more discussion. The awards are just kind of there.
Yeah.
Fair. Game of the year. Of course, they had some really good games that were up for it this year. I pretty much believe everybody thought it was going to be between Elden Ring and God of War. And Elden Ring ended up winning out. Which I don't think, there were people that were mad that God of War got delayed like in the middle of the summer or whatever, because they were like, they just did it to get it close to the Game Awards so people remember that better, so Elden Ring would end up being, not get it. And I was like, really? I saw debates about this on Twitter, and I was like, y'all are stupid.
That's
like, if Elden Ring's a good game, it's just gonna hold on.
That's okay. Yeah, they're really gonna delay a massive game like that just for the Game Awards. Sorry,
Right.
Jeff, you're not that important. You're not that important.
Oh, that's funny. But Elden Ring did end up winning out, and I'm okay with that. I mean, as much as that game was raved about and the footage that I saw of it, I don't disagree with it at all. It also pulled up a couple other awards. It got Best Direction as well as Best Art Direction. Chicken pointed out that it got those two plus the Game of the Year, and God of War got like
Everything else.
everything else that they were nominated for together.
Like, yeah.
So God of War still did really well.
Oh yes, like for sure. Which I find interesting that it won Best Direction and Art Direction. Like, what's the difference? I guess
Art Direction's going to
design?
be like the style.
Yeah.
Okay.
How it's stylized and set up and everything, and the direction is actually directing the actors and things like that.
Right. And choosing which direction the story needs to go, I guess.
Really, from what I haven't played all of Elden Ring yet, but I mean, I would feel that God of War would be better in the direction category than Elden Ring, since Elden Ring is more open world and less character based.
But I would debate this. I think that with a narrative based game like God of War, what you're dealing with it is I can sit down and write an entire script, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then move the game according to that script. I think the challenge with Elden Ring is the fact, because it's more of that open world, still creating an element of telling a story can be a lot more difficult. And so I would say that it would be harder to direct in that particular case.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
I'll eventually start getting to stream more Elden Ring, hopefully soon, because I am super invested in playing it. I definitely want to get back to it. I just need to get time to get back to it.
It also won Best RPG. Elden Ring did.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
I mean, it wasn't up against Ragnarok for that one, though.
No, it was not.
Really? God of War wasn't in Best RPG? It has RPG elements now.
No,
Yeah,
stop
but
it.
it's not
It's
considered an
more of an action
RPG.
game, though.
But it has a ton of RPG elements now.
Yeah, but I would.
Levels and skill trees and armor and upgrades and stats.
Yeah, I still wouldn't call it an RPG.
It's definitely, it's trending towards the RPG.
It
side
is,
of
but
things.
it's one of those where I think that there's that fine line that's there. I mean, you could call it an action RPG, I guess, but it's one of those where it's more of an action adventure game based on the way it is. With it's still got a little bit of hack and slash
Yeah,
built into the game.
hack and slash.
You
Definitely
know.
turns into a Dark Souls style game if you turn up the difficulty.
Yes, I'll give you that for sure. I thought this was really interesting too. I there was a game that was up for best narrative I'd never heard of
Oh,
called Immortality.
huh.
But it's got like real people. It's one of those ones where they like, I guess, film the people and do certain things, and I'd never heard of it. I think that's the one that's got the real people. And I was like, because they just showed like a really quick shot of it when they were
It's
announcing
an
the
interactive
stuff.
film video game.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's got real people.
It's on
But I thought it was-
Steam, 25% off right now.
But I was like, if it's up against these other games, it's got to be pretty good. Now I might want to try it out. But that is one of the good things about the Game Awards. Sometimes you get introduced to stuff you weren't expecting.
I never heard of Sifu in the fighting games, so
What?
Chicken talked about Sifu.
What? We've talked
Sifu's
about Sifu.
Excellent, man.
it's
Yeah,
It's good.
yeah, and it's hard.
It is a very difficult but super good game.
I don't remember this one.
Yeah,
Because
you don't
wait,
die, you
what?
age.
He's like, what, you guys talked about it? Yeah, motherfucker, we talked about it.
Yeah, it's a very interesting concept for a game, for sure. Best performance for actor.
Oh, that's why I probably forgot. Okay, it's Epic Games.
Oh.
Ah.
Yes.
Best
I don't pay attention to the Epic Game exclusive shit.
Neither do I.
Can't blame you. Most of us don't. Best performance for actor ended up going Christopher Judge, God of War. And he had like a 15-minute long.
Acceptance speech right at the start of the show. Like, geez.
And I loved it. I loved it too because Jeff Keighley's like, he's just trying to give out more Steam Decks.
Sadly, none of us want a Steam Deck.
Yeah.
I mean, when you have millions of people that have put their name into that,
Yeah.
I mean,
Also, I didn't get to check, but there was somebody posted something on Reddit that was like, here, you can look at this to see how long you actually watched it or how long it counted. And some people were like, yeah, I watched the whole episode. It counted 37 seconds for me.
wow.
Huh.
So that
Wow.
might be why some of us did not win, is because it wasn't technically tracking us while we were watching it. Feels bad, man.
Is it because
I
we
didn't get a
weren't
chance to see
interacting in
mine.
chat or because we were tapped
Fuck
out?
that.
I don't
I
know. It
was
might be the same thing. Like I have a capability when I'm streaming. One of the bot that I use actually lets me know when people go in and out of my chat. And I don't know what causes that because I can say their name and they'll start talking. But according to Twitch says that their entire system, as long as you have the tab open, it counts as a view. I'm gonna call bullshit on that because I
it
can see
counts as
5 or
leaving.
6 people and see them leave, and I'll watch the number drop. But they're still there. Yep. So I'm gonna go with the 37 seconds is because he didn't chat or something.
Yeah.
You didn't do something. It's just weird to me on how their system works.
Yes.
Any of the awards out there that stood out for y'all?
Not really. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
God
mean-
of War won a bunch.
Bayonetta 3 ended up winning best action game. We heard that it's on a Nintendo, first of all, so it's limited on what it can run. Yes, Sony, it is limited. Okay. But it's still ended up winning best action game. So, which is good. And what do you do after that? Like, you can't make another regular Bayonetta game, right?
They're making
they're making
fan-
a-
Well, they're making
prequel.
another one, but
Yeah.
I'm saying you have to just expand the universe. You can't go back into like the regular style on,
I would assume that's
at least
what,
not on a Switch anyway.
I assume that's what they're gonna try to do is expand the world of it so that you're not, focused on I mean, I guess that's hard though, because isn't that her name? I don't know. I've never played it, so-
Bayonetta? Yeah, that's her name.
So you're.
Yeah,
Okay,
'cause
I was right. Hideki Kamiya, the writer and designer behind the Bayonetta series, said that Bayonetta 4 is in development.
Really? So it's got to be for whatever the next Nintendo is. I don't see it going back on the Switch. Yeah.
I feel very certain that it's going to be on the next one.
The new Bayonetta game that we were talking about that they gave an announcement of is Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon. So
Yeah. It's a very different style too. So if you're expecting traditional Bayonetta action, do not expect that.
no,
Yeah. No, not at all. That is so different.
yeah, it's like old school
The
RPG. is what it
styling and art of it reminds me a bit more closer to like a JRPG.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Hmm.
Definitely.
I mean, we can post the link to the page with every award and who won it and everything. But I think we
Now we get to go to the announcements.
I think we hit the highlights. So now we can spend the next, forever talking about all the other stuff.
And there was a few announcements I was excited about. Not as many as I wanted to.
I actually, we've talked about how sometimes it feels like there's too many announcements and stuff like this, and then this year it's like, well, there wasn't as many, and I think that's fine. I think that's fine.
Yeah, I like this better because there was a few like really high impact announcements. So.
Well, I did feel there was a few times when they would have like 3 announcements in a row, or he'd come back from a commercial break. Commercial quotation marks break.
An ad roll.
And he'd come back in and he would be like, okay, and here we're going to give out 2 more awards. And he just stands there with a microphone and has a list and tells you who won it. And then has a list and tell you who won it. And then we'll have like 3 more trailers. And I'm like, come on, man, like give these people a little bit of love.
That is like my main problem with the Game Awards is that if you're going to give an award, at least do it on the main stage. Give them the respect of the main stage.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can do them like that, but on the main stage.
Because even like when you're talking about the Academy Awards, what they do with the Academy Awards is they have the main show everybody sees on television, right? But they also have a pre-show for the smaller things that people don't talk about as much, like sound design and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But they still are on a stage giving the stuff in front of an audience, right? And all you had to do was, earlier tonight, these are the ones we gave out, and show a little bit of those people's speech, add the shit together. You got people working on the fly anyway.
Yeah, you can do it right there. Big fucking monitor behind you. Just give them a little time. If they're going to win an award, it should at least be good.
They should be acknowledged for more than 2 seconds before we get to the next trailer.
Yeah, they should get a little bit of spotlight, right?
Yep.
The award show really is just Jeff Keighley's vehicle for showing off games. It's his E3. I don't think he really cares so much about the awards.
That's where he makes the money, because they're paying him to have it on the show, because they know they're about to get over 1 million people watch it at least at once.
There were several announcements and things that got shown off and whatnot, and I did not catch all of them. We were playing, so I was kind of like split attention. So there's things on here where it's like apparently there's one called Post Trauma that's Silent Hill-esque. I haven't seen it yet. I just saw the thing for it today, so I'll watch it. Don't worry. But there are definitely some big things.
Oh yeah, there's a couple of big things.
Oh, definitely.
They showed off one called Judas that is from Ken Levine's new studio. Is it Campfire Games? Ghost Story Games? Something like
Ghost
that.
Story. It's Ghost Story.
But it's space Bioshock, really. I mean, like, I kind of hate
it
to
looks
be
so,
like that about
so much
it,
like it. I was freaking out when I saw it. I was like, yes!
Yeah, Ghost Story Games. And yeah, you talk about I can't think of the word for it, but it looks
someone
just
that has
like
their specific format. Like Ken Levine's like, I like how Bioshock works.
A spiritual successor to Bioshock.
Yes.
This is it.
Yes.
This is 100% it.
So I'm interested to see how that goes down. Like, I know it doesn't. I don't think it has a solid release date. And it did show with the PlayStation logo, which makes me worried that it's gonna be,
I think there was a Steam logo on there too, or
PlayStation
a PC.
exclusive. But if it's PlayStation exclusive, sure, it may be coming to PC, but it might be a year out, which also
it says platform
sucks.
Microsoft Windows.
Oh, that could be either Epic or it could be Steam.
That just means PC essentially, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I hope it is not. I mean, Sony's got such a good relationship with the Epic Store. It probably will be an exclusive if it's one of their little sponsored things. That makes me kind of sad now that I think about it.
Yep.
I mean, Saints Row was the same way. You'll get to Saints Row eventually.
Yeah, I really wanted to play that, but I'll be waiting until next year, so great.
Maybe by then they'll have fixed the issues.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. True.
And for all the companies that complain about poor sales when they release it exclusively on the Epic Game Store, I'm going to give you one tip. It's probably the exclusive platform that is hurting you. Just saying.
Saints Row definitely was one of those where it's like, oh no, we didn't meet our sales expectations. Is it because you didn't put it on Steam, maybe?
The Dead Alive game that I was talking about, the 4v1 where that's really cool. It's the Evil Dead game, the Hunter. Yeah, that one. That community is nearly completely dead.
Because
I wonder why.
I mean, it looked like a fun game, but
oh yes, it looks like a really fun game that I want to play. But it's like, oh yeah, Epic Games exclusive. I'll just wait until you guys are desperate enough to put it where the real
player base is.
The real player base is.
Yeah, well, the mentality kills me on that too, because it's one of those where what is Epic payout? 15%? Or they only take 15% instead of 30? Is that right?
Yeah,
maybe.
Okay, so if I'm selling something and let's say I sell 1 million of something, and I'm paying out 30%, that's a lot. Don't get me wrong, but if I only have 200,000 that I can sell on a different format, and I'm selling out, and then I'm giving them 15%, I've still made a whole lot less money.
Like overall, your profit is less.
Right. Yeah. So it's like, come on, man. Like, and the community is just much tighter on Steam because we have ways to communicate to each other. Yeah. And
I'm definitely going to look into getting that game when they finally move it over. Yeah. They're going to be all reinvigorated when it comes out to Steam. I just wish companies would see that. It's like, yeah, you're getting a nice little chunk of change for it to be exclusive, but you're losing that pretty fucking quickly because your game dies.
Dead game. For those that were interested in playing The Last of Us Part 1, which is the remake of Last of Us, as well as Returnal, which were both PlayStation exclusives, those games are coming to PC as well. I'm going to go ahead and guess now that probably the case. It's going to be Epic.
Yeah, but I would say anything that is a PlayStation exclusive coming to PC is probably going to go to the Epic Game Store first. There's only like a handful of games that I would guess maybe would skip that exclusivity. But
the Returnal one's going to be interesting because part of the cool thing about Returnal is was the haptics on the PlayStation 5 controller. Mm-hmm. Because it kind of gave you a feel of what was happening in the environment and stuff around you. So I know there's people that turn the haptics off, but that was kind of one of the cool things about that game for me, was just the way that game felt. It just felt different because the haptics inside their controller were just amazing. See, told you all I like Sony too. I mean, really. But hardware. That was a hardware thing. We did get an announcement for Hades 2. So those people that love the first Hades game, which the first Hades game is fantastic. We are getting a sequel to that one, which I think this is the first time that is it Big Time Games? What's the name of the company? Supergiant. I think it's the first time Supergiant has done a sequel to one of their games.
Well, I mean, Hades was huge. So.
Oh
it
man,
was.
that's an understatement.
Yep.
I mean, it is not my cup of tea, but I saw everybody else playing it.
Yep. Jedi New Order is getting their sequel. Jedi Survivor is supposed to be coming out on St. Patrick's Day. So,
Okay.
It's on Game Pass. I'll probably play it.
Yep. So
That's how I played the first one.
I loved it. I thought it had a great narrative. The gameplay was really good. And
There were some interesting glitches through it, though.
I didn't have any glitch issues. But
They weren't great game breaking, game breaking or anything. They were just like really weird things. What would happen every once in a while?
Well,
I'm interested to see what they add and abilities wise, because I think it's very difficult a lot of times when you create a sequel for a game to where people have special powers in any way. Of course, you're dealing with Jedi. Is how do you go? All right, you had these special powers in the first game. Now we've got to add more special powers because we've created a new game. And
well, I mean, given he was still learning in the first game, there's plenty of powers to add from there.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Especially
I just
you
interested to see what they add to it. So, we got a new trailer as well for Dune Awakening that showed a little bit more of the world, which is the MMO for Dune.
yeah.
So
that is going to be a very niche market of people wanting to play that.
Yeah, it's the open world survival MMO, so it's similar. I think it might even be the same people that do the Conan one. I'm not 100% on that one, but so I'm a Dune fan, but I'm not even sure if I want to live in a desert. At least with Conan's basically a desert anyway, but I felt like, hey, there's a stream. I can survive doing this. How do you survive in Dune if they don't give you a suit to start with to be able to get?
That's only a section of the world, though, for Conan. Like, it's not really just a desert world.
Well, I know that, but what I'm saying is when you first start out, you're starting out that area, and then but you've got all your stuff to survive. If this is a survival game in Dune, there's no water. So, I'm interested to see how they make that part of the I don't know if it's storyline or how they're gonna put you into that world, but I'm sure this next one Griff is very excited about, which is going to be Death Stranding 2.
Oh yeah, I'm super pumped. Like
that is an understatement.
I'm ready. I know.
Deliver more.
I know. After playing the first game, watching that trailer is not in chronological order. That is not how it will play out in game, and there's probably huge gaps of time between some of those scenes. So,
well, Hideo did say that he threw some stuff in there for y'all to like pause and look and do stuff like that.
Oh,
so
I know. I've been reading the breakdowns.
I'm sure that there are people out there going like frame by frame.
Oh yeah,
like,
go to
pictures.
the Death Stranding Reddit and hit it up, and yeah, it is.
Let me play the first one first, and then I'll join that subreddit.
Yeah, I'm gonna make Chicken play it with me so that I can revisit it and everything, and I'm ready. I want to know what happens and all of that stuff. So I've got a lot of theories. I've got a lot of little thoughts cooking and stuff.
Cooking thoughts.
Yeah. And it didn't take long. It didn't take long to get it up there either. Because if you think about it, it wasn't long ago that Hideo Kojima had the announcement that he was going to be working with Microsoft on something, right? Mm-hmm. And then you had some people were like, "Well, what about Death Stranding 2?" Well, then you had Norman Reedus came out and said, he said, "We're still working together."
Yeah, Norman Reedus.
Yeah. He came out and said that, and it was like, okay, all right. But then it was like, boom, here's the trailer. So they've been working for a hot minute on it.
Yeah.
So.
It's gonna be something. I know.
Oh yeah,
I'm
whenever he
interested to
releases a game,
see.
it's something.
I'm interested
I
to see where you
mean-
go after the first one.
Uh,
Alrighty. Also, that one is one of the ones that I thought was gonna be a PlayStation kind of thing, but I imagine it'll be on Steam at launch as well. So
oh, really?
I think it will be.
That's good.
Maybe. I don't know. I only saw the PlayStation logo when they shot it up there.
We'll see.
It may eventually go to Steam, but
Yeah, it will eventually go to Steam. I have no doubt about
or
that.
they'll do it'll be PlayStation a year later. It'll go to Epic, and then another year later you'll finally get it, Grib.
They really got to stop that shit.
Yeah. That's.
I mean, what year did
Stupid.
the original Death Stranding come out?
I don't know.
2019.
2019, I think.
Check and Google it.
Sorry,
That's the reason I asked the question. He's the quickest Googler in the house.
Well, I'm just completely like lost here.
What are you watching your Lions game still?
No, we won, of course.
Oh, okay.
We're done.
of course. Listen to him. They're
course.
bowl eligible now. They got 6 wins.
Oh yeah, we're 6-7. You know, of the last 6 games, we are 5-1. I'm just saying, start 1-6 and end up 5-1. I'm just saying.
Fair.
November 8, 2019. It's been 3 years last month.
So 3 years, and you just played it this past year. I wonder when it actually hit Steam comparatively.
I don't know when it came to Steam. I just know I put it off and then ended up waiting until it was on sale, like a pretty nice discount sale. I think I picked it up for $20 or less. So.
The director's cut was released in the PlayStation 5 to September of 2021. It was released for Windows 6 months after the original release date.
But it was
July
on
14th,
Epic
2020.
first, right?
July 14th, 2020.
But it was on Epic first, I think.
Was it?
It just says Windows.
Yeah. Of course it does, because Wikipedia doesn't care.
Yeah, Wikipedia does not care.
So, but I mean, even then, that would be a year later. Wouldn't be too bad, or 6 months later.
Yeah,
if
it's 6
they did
months
that.
later. It's not too bad at all.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be that bad.
But
Because if they could release it in the spring and summertime, and by the fall you could play it. Good to go.
I
Good
hate
to go.
waiting. I hate waiting on stuff so much.
I know.
The latest trailer. That's a word.
Cradle.
A trailer for Nightingale, which is due out this next year, which is another survival style game, but it's kind of unique in the way that it's designed. I really, really like the way that it looks. So I'm probably going to end up picking that one up. Since I don't have a survival game issue at all, no problems at all. I just buy all of them. It's okay. Okay. We also got, as we mentioned earlier, we got the release date for Diablo 4, June 6th of 2023. We also got information that Horizon Forbidden West is getting an expansion, but the expansion that's coming out in April of this coming year is only for PlayStation 5, because they didn't want to dumb the game down at all for PlayStation 4. They wanted to be able to use all the power of the PlayStation 5 for it. So those people that bought
go get your PlayStation 5, people.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, good luck with that.
So those that haven't played it on PlayStation 4, and I don't think there's a free upgrade if you get the PlayStation 5. I don't think you get the Forbidden West free upgrade. So, there you have it. There's a sequel for Remnant 2 as well, which is a Souls-style game. And I played a good bit of that game and then stopped playing it for some reason, but probably because I was frustrated because it was a Souls-style game. But I really enjoyed what I played, for sure. Especially the big giant dragon that I had to fight. But it was pretty cool game. Very cool environment. So it's nice it's getting a sequel. as well. Anything else that caught anybody's eye?
There's that crime boss game that I think it wants to be GTA.
You mean Saints Row?
Like GTA and Saints Row, which are started out initially kind of being similar, but there's a bunch of famous people in it. One of which is Chuck Norris, which is like, okay, part of me is like, okay, I get it, because he's a meme. But then the other part of me is like, yeah, but isn't he a super far right-wing crazy person now?
Yeah, yep.
That seems...
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, haven't these people always been like this? It's just we haven't been as interested in that stuff until recently.
I guess so, but then it's like, which part of you wins out on that one? The fact that it's like, oh, haha, Chuck Norris because he's a meme, or is it like, oh man, but that's actually a really shitbag person to be in this game though. So
maybe
Vanilla Ice is also in it, so I guess this really.
Well, I mean, a lot of the people in there are kind of questionable, but
Yeah, I know, right? Just put question marks across this game.
Yeah, that's yes.
But I'll probably watch people play it on Twitch or something when it comes out, just to see how it is.
I'm assuming it's on Game Pass. It's just the big Xbox
Probably.
deal. Yeah, it'll be on Game Pass. But I overheard someone else talking about this game, and they said that it was part of the Crime City series.
I don't know.
I've never heard of the Crime City
Yeah,
series.
me neither. I don't know.
Yeah, so I'm guessing that's why it's called Crime Boss.
I guess so.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a super generic name.
very.
Mhm.
So, and it definitely looks like they're trying to hit the old school GTA original Saints Row box art kind of crowd. So, we'll see. There was also the announcement or the trailer for the Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty DLC, which showed us that Idris Elba is going to be in it, and that's pretty neat. I'm kind of interested. I mean, I was going to get the DLC anyway because I like that game, but I'm kind of peaked.
You got a bonus because he's in it.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting. They did show off Final Fantasy 16 stuff too. I don't know how I feel on that one. I'm undecided. Come back to me on that one.
Play it and then tell me how you feel.
Yeah, it's like let me, I guess, see it because I don't know if I care about it right now.
I mean, to be fair, I saw Final Fantasy 15 and went, played it and was like, wow.
Yeah, similar. So
Like, I mean, that's the same thing. I don't know what it is about games like that. It's the same thing with Death Stranding. You watch the trailers and you're like, and then you play it and you're like, wow.
well, I watched the
Okay.
trailers and went, wow, this is gonna be a really messed up, weird game, and it fit all of those descriptions.
And wow.
Did not disappoint. Yes.
There was a guy that I overheard. He was talking. He said, "I've beaten the game finished the game 3 times, and I still can't tell you. I can tell you I love the game. I can't tell you why, and I can't tell you what happened."
I mean, I can recount it, but not nearly as well as actually seeing it. So
Right.
I mean, to be fair, you couldn't tell me what that game was about until like right before she finished it. She's like, I still don't know what the fuck this thing is about. And
until
then
the
right
end of the
afterwards, she's
game?
like, I still don't know what this shit is about, but here's what happened at the end.
I mean, I get everything once they wrap it all up, but like all the way until like you're 3/4 of the way through the game, and you're still like, I don't understand what's exactly happening here, except for I'm gonna deliver these packages with this baby. Okay, and then they hit you at the end of the game, and you're just sitting there for like 20 minutes after the credits are done rolling, and you're still fucking absorbing it. You're like, I did not realize that all of these things were gonna come and slap me in the face right now. Who wrote this? Who is this dude? Like, get out of here.
That's a Kojima game.
Yes.
Yep.
Space Marine 2 Warhammer with all the Tyranids
Oh yeah, that's right. They did show that off, didn't they?
Yes.
and Blood Bowl 3.
If anybody wants to get cheesed upon, you can play Blood Bowl with Baka. He'll just face roll you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard nope.
I know, right?
It's fun.
It's not fun for the people getting face rolled.
Right. Right. Any others?
No.
The newbie played with me, but the only way he won is because like I used the basic 1,000 point team, and his was like double the amount, and he still only beat me by one.
Well, at least you got beat. That's all.
Yep.
That's all that
Boo.
matters.
Boo. No one cares about the excuses of why you lost. They just remember that you lost.
It's true.
As a Lions fan, I remember that very clearly.
From Software did also announce a new game. They've been doing the Armored Core series, and they did Armored Core 6. Fires of Rubicon is what they announced. They said that they're going to take some of the elements of their newer games and put into the Armored Core series. And I'm not really sure if that means they're trying to make it Souls-like because it's a mech style game, but I don't know.
Maybe.
It's beautiful. Like you watch the trailer, like the art and everything. I was like, wow, that's a good looking game. But let's see. We know Final Fantasy 16 is confirmed for June 22nd, 2023 for a release date.
Mm-hmm.
So about 6 months from now.
The Crash MOBA.
What a fucking choice for a game.
It could be like the best game ever. You know what I mean? Like just one of those things nobody expects.
I mean, true.
It's possible, but I'm going to go ahead and give that probability really, really, really low chance.
It's like getting kids into MOBAs, basically, right? Is that why you do that?
I guess so.
Yeah.
So
we
that
could.
Sony has their own MOBA?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Anything else?
We'll put a link to all of the trailers or announcements and stuff in there, so if we didn't talk about it and you wanted to see it, you can scroll through and see all of them. That way, that covers all of our bases for the most part.
Yep. Pretty much it.
So.
Well, we do appreciate everybody that hangs out with us each and every week at Infinite Respawn. As always, you can check us out on Twitter at InfiniteResPC. You can check me out personally at MDB Oaktree. Check out Griff.
At Griff Slanum.
Check out Chicken.
At Elite Chicken 313.
Check out Baka.
Baka Pickle.
Also, make sure that you go to twitch.tv/Elite Chicken 313, where Chicken is currently playing through Elden Ring when he gets the opportunity to. He's had a lot of work he's had to do recently, though.
Yeah.
So, but if you hit the follow button and if you're in the Discord, you'll know when he goes live. Just
Soon,
saying.
I need a soon sign.
Soon. ... Or is it ... soon?
Soon. Oh.
Also, make sure you go to twitch.tv/MDB Oaktree, where I should be starting to stream again this week. I've had a lot of stuff going on in my personal life, so haven't been able to stream as much as I wanted to. So hopefully I'll be streaming all this week. But for Infinite Respawn, I'm Oaktree.
I'm Griff.
I'm Chicken.
Bucket.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Please hang up and try again.